Hello, everybody, and welcome to our podcast. In this podcast, we'll be talking about crazy stories that happened
At school,
at school. There's a lot of crazy stories. School is very interesting.
Teacher horror stories.
Teachers are very scary sometimes, so you're going to have very scary stories.
Yeah.
And we have so happen to have a lot of scary stories because we've had a lot of classes together, and so
yeah, we actually met at school.
Yeah, we met
in
at
fourth
school,
grade.
In fourth grade.
Yeah, you want to know? You want to know how we
met?
met?
Know how we met?
Yeah, he came up to me.
You can explain it.
I was sitting at my desk. I think it was like reading time or whatever.
I think it was like just after reading time, and it was like.
And you were reading your Minecraft book.
Okay, no, I think it was a different book than that. Maybe I don't remember. Anyway, yeah, I think it was like right as it was done, and then I just walked up to you.
And he said, "You're in my book," and then
just the most.
And I don't remember what I said. I barely remember the moment now, but it was so funny looking back on it.
I don't know why. It's just a coincidence that it just happened somehow.
And then ever since fourth grade, we had fifth grade, a little bit of sixth grade,
most sixth grade, not a lot of
seventh grade we had electives. We didn't really have any
and
core classes.
Switched in eighth grade.
Yeah, eighth grade we had core classes, no electives.
And then
in ninth grade we had 4 classes.
4 classes to the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
And then now this year we have everyone except
English.
One, which,
You know, it's unfortunate for some, but like myself.
Yeah, English is sometimes. But I like my English.
Taking advanced English was possibly the worst decision of my school career.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of told you that. I feel like advanced English was
I just didn't listen. Anyways.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. So what should we talk about first? Teacher horror stories or just school stories?
Teachers horror stories.
Okay. So remember the one teacher we had? I'm not going to be saying names or grade, so no one can figure it out. We're just going to be going off
but
of
you can probably guess
stories.
if you might have had the teacher.
If you had the teacher, you can guess, but, it's...
Even then, it's still kind of difficult.
Even then, it's difficult. Do you remember this one teacher we had? And she wasn't there for half the year.
Yeah, I know about
Yeah. And then she shows up one day, and this was back when, COVID was, a big, heavy thing. And so I was quarantined when she reappeared. But before that, she sent us the video of hi, welcome, I can't wait to meet you all, guys. And she was sweating in the video,
she was
tomato red, gushing sweat out of her pores. I never saw someone she just got up, ran a mile, said, let me press record. And I was like, who is speaking to us? Who is this lady?
It was like I don't know why she was sweating. Did she even say? I don't think she even said.
No, that was just our first ever
experience.
This is our teacher, and I was like, ooh, okay.
Not exactly.
Yeah, and then she came back, and I wasn't there, so you sent me a picture of what she looked like. It was not a great picture, I must add.
Yeah, okay,
iPhone 3 or something, Samsung quality.
Whatever. I mean, it wasn't flattering as well because I think it was
well, it was her, so
you know. She was not exactly flattering.
But she, as we would come to learn, was couldn't really contain her emotions that well.
I mean,
she would be nonchalant and then just angry in a matter of
not to diagnose
seconds.
her, but she's maybe a bit bipolar.
And not to be offensive, we just legitimately think that's what she had because she wouldn't really teach us. She would just put her feet up on the desk and scroll on Twitter, put on a movie. Because what we read, The Giver, so she put on that movie. And then someone's like, can you please close the blinds? We can't see because the glare was so bad. And she was like, you guys make me do so much. She got up, stomped around. She's like, I have a headache. I can't deal with this today. You guys make it worse. I was like, oh, my God. Because no one could see.
And then our, because we also unfortunately had her for another kind of, another class. And she was fine.
So much happier.
She was so much happier. I don't know if it was just because of the teachers. I don't know if it was just
if it was
the students,
just our class.
Yeah, I don't know if it was just
but it seemed like everyone pretty much had the same experience with her because some of our friends had her too, and they were pretty much saying the same
Yep.
thing.
I think literally almost everybody in the grade was like.
Yeah, but then in the second class, she was fine. She was actually happy.
Yeah, she wasn't that bad.
But this other teacher would come in and they would talk about Costco for like an hour. And she was like, yeah, I went to Costco. I got like all their cakes and I ate them within a day. And we were like,
the other teacher was kind of.
What do you mean you went to Costco?
Weird when she came in.
Yeah, and then, but she was so much happier in the other class.
It was really mind-blowing.
I
don't know why she was all of a sudden.
And be like, blah, 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 what are you working on? What are you working on? What are you working on? Because if you weren't working and, like, playing a game, you would get in trouble. But she never asked us. And the whole time we would just play games.
Yeah,
we were never working. The two people that she never asked.
I think it was maybe because she thought that we were, like, responsible when we were.
Well, she liked us. Like, she tried to talk
she liked
to us in the
us,
hallway. And I was like, no thanks.
Yeah.
I'm good. So that was...
That was an experience.
I'll never
with
forget that teacher.
Yeah, she's definitely an unforgettable teacher. Not in a good way.
But in the same year, we also had one of the best teachers.
Yeah, also had one of the best teachers, which is kind of fortunate.
I think we never had, like, do you think we could say the subject? It's the best teacher.
We could just say it. We could just say it.
So she was our science teacher.
Yeah.
And we never had, like, a great science teacher because, you know, in movies and TVs, they're like, oh, you do all these experiments, you do, like, the egg drop, whatever. No. It's like, sit down, boil water, record the temperature. Like, that's literally science from, like, the day you start school. And so when we told her that, she was like, what do you mean? You boil water? And so we did the egg parachute experiment. And I remember she was in the hallway walking to the stairwell where we were dropping the eggs, and she dropped it in the middle of the hallway.
Oh, yeah, I remember that now.
Damn it! And she comes back and she's like, I dropped my egg, guys.
And the funny thing, that was at the very, like, I want to say the very beginning. It was near the beginning of the school
like,
year.
We just met this lady. And so we were like, I can't tell if you're crazy or we like you. But she wasn't. Yeah, she was a bit of both, but in a good way.
And definitely in a good way.
It turned out to be the best science class that we ever had.
We've actually talked to her outside of school, and, you know.
Yeah, because we did a lot of fun experiments. It wasn't like, sit down, boil the water, because, you know, that was 7th grade. And moving up to 8th grade. And then she would, for, like, when she would teach lessons, she would give, like, visual demonstrations. So for like push and pull for 4, someone would sit in the chair and she would like fling it across the room, or she'd be like, this is Newton's second law, and then throw a pen at the wall, which dented the wall. And she was so terrified of getting in trouble, she covered it with like a poster.
She had to cover the poster.
Year. But you couldn't really, like, read it. So if you didn't know why it was there, you're like, why is a poster in this most random place, like, in the corner of the room?
I mean, I didn't look that out of place, so it kind of just looked like a natural poster there.
Like, after a while, you didn't even see it.
It was funny. Yeah. I for, like, a while, like, I completely forgot about that in the class.
Yeah, so that was...
That was an interesting year. A year was
experiences with teachers. But do you remember at elementary school there was this one janitor who was like really mean to us for no reason? Because our moms were in the PTA, and so we'd have to stay after
for a while
school. And so we'd get bored and we'd like run around and stuff. And we were in the closet, and the janitor opens the door. She's like, "What are you doing in here?" Do you remember that? She was so.
It was really weird because I guess she wasn't aware who our parents were, and so I don't know if she ever found out or if she did know, and she just was. I don't know. I think she just might be one of those people that just isn't.
But I remember not gonna call it,
but she's not exactly happy, and so she was. Constantly, I don't know. She just didn't like us, but she knew us. She knew our moms because our moms. Yeah, she knew my mom.
They were like friends. I mean, we're like, ooh.
Yeah, so it was kind of.
And then every year we'd see her. Like sometimes when we have to go back and visit,
we'll see
her, and we're like, look the other way, like. Close your eyes, turn around, because I don't know.
I don't know if she would recognize us.
I don't think she would recognize us. But just the fear of getting recognized, I don't think she even remembers. But
she probably doesn't remember.
That's like a core trauma memory.
Yeah, she's probably done that to so many kids. I mean, not to say there's probably a lot of kids that go around
running around
at the end of the day, but she's probably definitely yelled at.
Well, we would run around. Remember that one time we were like, what were we doing? We were like spying on someone.
Oh yeah.
They turned around and we ran, and you had water and you spit it all
Oh
over
yeah,
the
yeah,
floor.
yeah.
Oh
my God, there were so many experiences.
Hello?
There was one where we went up to like the music room or whatever, and it basically, like, when we went up to the music room, there were like people in it, not obviously the music teacher, but it was it was at the end of the day. It was like another one of these end of the day experiences.
I know where this is.
And we were sneaking up and we saw it, and these people were like playing with
with the baby.
With like a baby. And then like the baby was like running around, and then they grabbed the baby and were like, "I got you!" And the baby was like, "Ah!"
But it was really loud.
It was really so loud, and it was scary because it was almost. Yeah, we quoted it for years. Like,
and then remember that one time when these like girls from high school came to babysit all like the PTA kids, and then we were like, this was the mid-peak of like water bottle flipping, and we were in the gym. And remember, you threw it up, and it landed on the rafters.
I remember
like,
that.
Perfectly.
I didn't remember that we had like the high school.
And
girls,
it stayed there for years. Like, it's probably still there, to be honest.
I swear it got knocked down. I swear I remember seeing it get knocked down. Like
the kids are running, and there's just a water bottle. It's a kid. Ah!
I didn't actually see it get knocked down. I just saw that it was knocked down.
It's not there, but I remember the next day we're like, look at that. Guess who did that? Whoa.
Yeah, I know.
And then
I remember I was like flexing.
Because
like, oh my God,
the gym ceiling, like, it's huge.
Yeah.
Like, especially
it's probably not compared
school,
to.
It was huge.
Probably not compared to our school.
Well,
our school's probably taller with it. I don't. It's hard to tell.
For an elementary school, like.
Yeah, for an elementary school, the ceiling is really tall, but the gym is like maybe a little bit like smaller than the small gym here.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But
I don't
not
know.
by much.
It was I think it's one of the bigger gyms. I'm not sure.
And then we had like rock climbing walls that we never used.
Yeah, and then
they were like, it's too dangerous. Then why did you put it in?
Those got. I don't know. Are they still there? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't remember. I swear I remember them getting like gone. So, yeah, that was the experience with the gym.
And then remember that one teacher we had at that school for our final year there.
Yeah, I know what you're about.
I had her for 2 hours straight.
I only had for one.
Because for that year, I don't think there was enough like teachers, because our class is huge, so there wasn't enough teachers, and so multiple would have to teach different subjects, and so I had her for 2 hours straight because I had 2 different subjects.
Yeah.
And then you had her for 1, I think.
Yeah, just the first hour with you.
And let me just say, she couldn't teach either of the subjects.
Yeah, she wasn't exactly that well versed in it.
Should we say the subject?
The subject that was most famous, obviously, like, you had her for the other subject, but the most famous subject was science.
Yes.
And she.
Let's just say that was not her forte.
She was not exactly using her brain.
I don't know what
in science.
her forte was, but it was not.
I feel like she's more of a
English?
kindergarten type. Literally, I'm not joking.
1,
like
2. Well, do you think she can count like colors? I mean, she really, truly could not teach science. Because it was all about, like, weather and stuff that year. And so we had to do this project, and she was talking about, like, the different types of weather we get. And she's like, oh, well, we're going to put these water bottles outside because we're going to do this whole thing with, like, rain. And she's like, well, I don't want to put them outside because what if a hurricane comes along and gets it? And, like, some of you are like, no, she was joking. No, she does not have sarcastic bone in her body. She was dead serious.
Yeah, she's not sarcastic at all.
Everyone looked at her. The back table started laughing, and she went, what? What's so funny? And then she's like, oh, what? And it was like a hurricane?
Yeah, I don't know.
Hurricane.
That's not exactly. Maybe she was, I don't think so, but maybe she was mean, obviously, like the backsplash of like a hurricane, obviously, like you get rain and stuff. But she was making it sound like it was like more intense. like how a hurricane would be.
Full on believed.
But and like it kind of sounded like she was full on believing that
because it was hurricane season, not for us, because we don't get hurricanes, but for Florida,
middle of the country,
places like that. And I remember this other time so clearly. It will forever be scarred in my brain, no matter how many
Was I there? I don't think I was there.
I tried to get rid of it. You were there, but so basically, for like, I think we were going over reactions or something. She lit a match because it's like reactions.
Yeah.
And she's like, guys, I love the smell of barbecue. I love it. I just love it. And she was walking around like smelling the fire. And she turned around to our table, and that's why you couldn't see, because she turned on facing like our table.
Yeah.
She's like, I just love the smell, and like literally stuck it up her nose.
Yeah.
The match on fire.
On fire.
And I have other people to say that she did this too, because it was like a full table full of people. We all saw her did this. Stuck it up her nose. That must be the reason why I didn't know. And let's just say it wasn't on fire after she did that. And she had to get a new match. I mean, we were appalled. We were like, what just happened? Oh my God. This teacher just fried the rest of her brain. Like, I can't even. Like, oh, that was one memory I will never forget.
So, yeah. We have like so many more stories. So if you ever do more, like another podcast, we have so many more stories we could talk about, and we could literally go on
a lot to add on.
Yeah, there is like so much you could add on.
Especially if we did like a senior year edition, we could do a high school edition.
Oh yeah, whenever there was
not
more
like horror
editions.
Stories, but like
funny stories. Well, the whole
funny stories.
It's mainly just funny. I wouldn't say hurricane or lighting a match. No. I mean, that is pretty scary, but
because the teachers here, they're not bad.
They're not as crazy as
they're not crazy. No, they would never do that.
But yeah, that's basically our story of school. We should have more, hopefully, different types of podcasts. But anyway, yeah, that's it.
Hope you enjoyed.
Bye.